It was raining, one of those cold, punishing rains that makes even the strongest feel small, and there she stood, a single mom at a bus stop, clutching her child's hand, shivering, exhausted, and late for her second job. A luxury car slowed down beside her, the window rolled down, and the billionaire CEO inside said just 5 words that would change her life forever. "You're coming with me." We move through our days surrounded by people on sidewalks, in stores, in traffic, in waiting rooms. Yet most of the time, we barely register more than a passing glance. We are busy, we are stressed, we are focused on our own lists, our own deadlines, our own responsibilities. The millionaire CEO in this story was no different. His schedule was packed. His mind was on the meeting he had just finished and the plans he needed to finalize before the next quarter. But on this particular evening, something shifted. For one reason or another, he noticed her. Maybe it was the way she held her child close, trying to shield them both from the cold wind. Maybe it was the defeated posture of someone who had been pushing through hardship for far too long. Or maybe it was simply a moment of clarity, one rare instant when the noise in life quiets down enough for us to see what we have been missing. What matters is that he allowed himself to truly look at her. Not as a stranger, not as a statistic, not as someone out there, but as a human being with a story, a struggle, and dreams that life had repeatedly forced her to postpone. That small moment of awareness created a spark. And that spark became action. The CEO could have driven past, most people did, but instead he asked himself a powerful question: what if I can do something? Awareness is the beginning of all change, personal, professional, and social. Without awareness, opportunities dissolve before they even appear. But with awareness, a single moment can turn into a turning point, not only for someone else but also for ourselves. Because when we choose to see people, we give ourselves the chance to become part of something bigger than our own journey. When the millionaire CEO approached the single mom at the bus stop, many people assumed the most obvious act of kindness he could offer would be financial assistance. But instead of reaching into his wallet, he reached into something far deeper: his ability to create opportunity. Because money can help someone survive a moment, but opportunity can help someone transform a lifetime. Money can buy groceries for a week. Opportunity can build stability for years. Money can pay a bill. Opportunity can change a career. Money provides relief. Opportunity provides growth. The CEO understood this difference clearly. He had spent years building a business where he saw firsthand that talent is often hidden behind circumstances. He recognized that the single mom didn't lack intelligence, work ethic, or potential. She lacked access, support, and a door that would finally open instead of closing. So instead of handing her a quick fix, he offered her a structured path: training, mentorship, flexible hours, and childcare support. He didn't assume she couldn't handle it. He didn't speak down to her. He treated her as someone capable, someone worthy of investment. He gave her the chance to step into a system where her effort would be rewarded, not overlooked. And this is what so many people need. Not pity, not temporary charity, but a chance, just one, to show what they can do when someone believes in their ability rather than their limitations. The CEO choice showed that real empowerment doesn't come from giving people what you think they lack. It comes from helping them access what they already have inside. Because opportunity is not about handing someone success. It's about removing barriers so they can earn it themselves. The most remarkable part of this story is not that the millionaire CEO offered help, it's what happened after the opportunity was given. Within 2 years, the single mom who once waited at a rainy bus stop became one of the company's top performing managers, and this transformation didn't happen because the CEO handed her success. It happened because he recognized something that countless others had overlooked: her untapped potential. Potential is a powerful force. It hides inside people like a seed buried beneath the soil, waiting for light, waiting for space, waiting for a chance to grow. But too often, the world focuses on appearances, circumstances, or temporary hardships rather than what a person is truly capable of. This woman had been judged by her situation, not her skills. She was seen as just a single mother struggling to get by. Yet beneath that struggle existed intelligence, discipline, resilience, and a work ethic strengthened by necessity. The CEO understood something many leaders miss. Talent does not always look polished. Potential does not always arrive with credentials or perfect circumstances. Sometimes the most capable people are hidden behind challenges, not opportunities. Once she entered the company, she thrived because someone finally created a space where her strengths could shine. She took every training seriously, she arrived early and stayed late, she learned faster, adapted quicker, and demonstrated a level of commitment that others struggled to match. Her past struggles became her greatest strengths. She was resourceful, determined, compassionate, and focused. And this is true for so many people in our world. When someone is given a fair chance, when their abilities are noticed instead of ignored, extraordinary outcomes can happen. The problem is not lack of potential, it is lack of recognition. Sometimes the right opportunity is all a person needs for their hidden greatness to finally be seen. Leadership is often misunderstood. Many people picture a leader as someone standing at the top, confident, successful, admired by everyone below them. But the millionaire CEO in this story demonstrated a very different kind of leadership, one that doesn't rely on titles, position, or authority. His leadership was rooted in something far more powerful, the ability to lift others. True leadership is not about being the smartest in the room, it's about recognizing the strengths of others and helping them rise. It's not about commanding attention, it's about offering guidance, support, and belief. When the CEO extended his hand to the single mom, he wasn't rescuing her, he was empowering her. He wasn't solving her problems for her, he was creating an environment where she could solve them herself. Lifting others means seeing potential where others see limitation. It means giving someone the tools, the training, and the encouragement they need to succeed. And it means understanding that leadership is not about creating followers, it's about creating more leaders. This CEO didn't supervise her every move, he didn't micromanage her. Instead, he invested in her growth. He gave her room to learn, space to make mistakes, and support to keep moving forward. He knew that people flourish when they feel trusted, valued, and respected. Many leaders forget this. They hold tightly to their power, afraid that helping others rise will somehow diminish their own success. But real leaders know the opposite is true. When you lift others, you elevate yourself. When you build strong people, you build strong teams. And when you invest in human potential, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the workplace. Leadership, at its core, is not about standing above others. It's about standing beside them and lifting them higher than they could reach alone. The millionaire CEO had already achieved what most people spend their entire lives chasing. He had wealth, influence, recognition, and a company that thrived under his leadership. By traditional standards, he had made it. Yet even with all those accomplishments, he later admitted that something felt missing. Something he couldn't buy, measure, or quantify. He had success, but he wanted significance. He wanted his life and work to matter beyond profit margins and boardroom applause. When he helped the single mom at the bus stop, he didn't expect anything in return. He didn't do it for publicity. He didn't do it to boost his image. He did it simply because it felt like the right thing to do. But what surprised him was how deeply the experience changed him. Watching her grow, develop, and rise through the company awakened something he had forgotten, the power of human connection. For years, he had been focused on numbers, revenues, projections, expansion plans. But seeing her transformation reminded him that behind every chart and every statistic is a human life that can be shaped, supported, or elevated. He realized that impact isn't created through grand gestures. It's created through intentional actions. It's created when a leader chooses compassion over convenience, empathy over indifference, and purpose over ego. The woman he helped didn't just become a successful employee. She became an example of what happens when leadership has heart. Her growth reignited his passion for building a company that wasn't just profitable, but meaningful. He started mentoring more employees, investing in their development, and encouraging managers to see beyond resumes and past hardships. And in doing so, he discovered that true fulfillment comes not from what we accumulate, but from the lives we influence along the way. Success may help you rise, but impact is what makes the climb worthwhile. One of the most powerful lessons from this story is that you don't need to be a millionaire CEO to change someone's life. You don't need vast resources, a high-ranking title, or a position of authority. What you need is awareness, compassion, and the willingness to act when you see someone struggling. The CEO simply noticed a moment of hardship and chose not to ignore it. That choice, small in effort but huge in impact, became a turning point in someone else's story. Every day, we cross paths with people fighting battles we may never understand. The exhausted employee hiding stress behind a polite smile. The neighbor juggling responsibilities without support. The friend who always says I'm fine, even when they're not. These people don't need someone to solve their problems for them. They need someone to see them, believe in them, and offer encouragement or opportunity when it matters most. Being a turning point doesn't require dramatic gestures. Sometimes it means listening without judgment. Sometimes it means offering advice. Sometimes it means giving someone a recommendation, a chance at a job, or a word of confidence they didn't know they needed. Often, it means simply showing kindness in a world that can be harsh and indifferent. What made the CEO action extraordinary was not the scale of his help, it was the intention behind it. He acted when others stayed silent. He cared when others walked past, and he believed in someone who had forgotten how to believe in herself. We all have that same potential. Each of us holds the power to inspire, uplift, and support someone in their most vulnerable moment. One decision, one gesture, one act of humanity can become the spark that changes the trajectory of another person's life. In a world that often celebrates power, wealth, and status, it is easy to forget that the greatest influence any of us can have comes from something simpler: our humanity. The CEO in this story did not change the world in that moment, but he changed someone's world, and sometimes that is even more important, because real leadership is not about how high you climb, but about how many people you lift along the way. Real success is not about the numbers you accumulate, but about the lives you touch. Real legacy is not built in boardrooms or bank accounts. It is built in the hearts of people who were transformed because you cared enough to act. So the next time you see someone struggling, pause, look closer, ask yourself the same question that changed everything for that single mom: what if I can do something? You may never know the full impact of your kindness. You may never see how far someone goes because of the opportunity or encouragement you offered, but make no mistake, your actions matter, your compassion matters, your willingness to step forward matters. We are surrounded by people with incredible potential, waiting for a moment, waiting for a chance, waiting for someone to believe in them. Why shouldn't that someone be you? Because each of us, no matter where we come from or what we have, carries the power to become a turning point in someone else's life, and that is where true greatness begins.